totally not in agreement with the likes of Sempas, with the Bahatis. It's sort of it's some group, it's some group in leadership that is trying to push the society to believe that this is the number one issue for this country.
Is it true that fighting for gay rights is a lucrative business for you?
It is not a business. Seriously, Simon, why would I, with all the insults that Sempa has been hurling at me on air, why would I be in this? Just because I'm
fair use, just in case. Fair use, just in case.
Wear a nice suit. I should not wear things that I desire.
Yeah, because society doesn't approve of whatever you're doing at the moment.
What do you mean? So I shouldn't be dressed because of that?
Legally, is there any legal justification for homosexuality?
I told you I'm a human rights defender. And I see Pastor Sempa has come here. When I agreed to come to this show, I spoke to you.
I'm sorry, it's just storming.
He cannot just storm in. So if he storms in, I storm out. Thanks for your time. I cannot go on with this debate.
Before you go, do you recognize these things?
Pepe, I'm sorry. Can you give me a minute?
Pepe, do you recognize some of these things here? These are some of the things they use. I want to give you evidence. You see,
Pastor, aren't you being too harsh to these people?
No.
Why for once can't you relax and then think about the pain they go through as society ostracizes them?
Njagala olabe ebintu bino obiraba bino. Ebintu bino ze karoti ze bakozesa. Okiwulira? Bakozesa karoti zino ne oyo omuwala gw'olabye alowooza nti musajja. She thinks she's a man. But she does not have the equipment to be a man. So what do? To be able to try and penetrate the other person, they use carrots. Bakozesa carrot. Ochirab. Bakozesa amatoke.
I think you're being a little
no. Bakozesa mbogoya. Bakozesa bino bichukamba. Nze mbadde mulago. I am a counselor. For many years I counsel people like her. When I counsel them, I discovered that they have problems. Some of the problems is when you use something like this. So when you use something like this and you put it inside you rip your urinary tract areas. When they put it inside there behind, but this
is a disorder, right?
If
it's a disorder,
yes.
Do you feel you're handling it the right way?
Yes.
Or you're being too aggressive, too harsh on them?
No. You see, first of all, we have the good Bible that tells us, even the Quran tells us that this is an evil. Tuchimanyi nti ekintu kino kikyamu. Bible yakiyita kibi. Era netubuulira nti mu mulembe ogujja waliwo abagenda okuvaayo ng'ate beekubaki beepika ate nga beeteekamu ki amaanyi. Kati omuwala omanyi ssente z'alina. Omuwala oyo alina ssente empya n'enkadde. Bogenda ku Facebook ye bali mu kunywa emyenge, bali mu kulya, bali mu pate, tebakoowa. Nze kambabuulira ate kira tuyina n'olugendo mu Luganda ewaffe nze ndi musajja Muganda nti ow'ebbango bw'otamuwemukira teweebikka. Kali bajja wano ne batandika okwambaza laba ayambadde obugoye obulungi. Owulidde? Ayambadde obugoye obulungi, ayambadde suuti naye si musajja mwana muwala. Ekibuzaabuza nti olaba ekyana, olaba omuwala omulungi. Naye ate kubanga Mukama yamutonda muwala ki mulungi mutunuulire kyana. Naye ate yeefuula omusajja.
His claim is he's biologically fated to be a woman.
Kakati, what makes him?
I'm glad Pepe is back.
I'm glad she has got.
Can you shake hands before we proceed?
Of course. How are you, Pepe? Nsaba Mukama amaanyi go gayingira omwana wa fono.
Pastor, no.
No. Kamusabire ko lwaza yagala.
No. Pastor, let's maintain civility on the show. Let's maintain civility. Let's maintain civility. Pastor Sempa argues that these are the instruments you use.
These are vegetables.
Yes.
Vino.
I eat this on my plate.
You eat them on your plate.
Yes.
You don't use them when you're having carnal knowledge.
Absolutely no. And Sempa should stop misinforming the public.
Kati ono alimba. Me, I'm a counselor. I've counseled many of these. First of all, they start in secondary school.
Why don't you start with counseling other than being confrontational to this young man?
This one is an evangelist. This is a missionary of sodomy. Ono muminsani.
Sorry, I had to edit some things. So you already know I got the entertainment loaded up if I had to take a break. You already know, man. Shout out to Pastor Sempa, right? You know, the Pastor Gino Jennings of the world, the Pastor David Mannings of the world, the Pastor Cedric Hatchers of the world. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all. Man, I'll say this though. The stuff that I've heard, you know, Pastor Sempa stuff say, these are like things that I've also heard, like, you know, like my grandparents. So it's not like the language isn't shocking to me. It's definitely shocking to the Americans. Definitely is shocking to that, like the average American. And I understand. I completely understand that, you know. Oh man. Speaking of which, let's see if I got any comments. Oh man, shout out to you guys, man. The Shiznit 702. He says LFG, IFG. I'm not sure what that means. I have no idea what that means. Man, what's up, Pyro? But yeah, you know, you gotta, you know, because I had to, you know, there was still some tags I had to put on there, you know, so.
Uganda.
So one day I will do a full analysis of that. One day I'll break down that interview. I'll break down this interview one day and just have that as a whole show, similar to how I did the when Elle was had her when she brought her baby father on the show, you know. I'll do a full interview on that. I still can't believe she did that stupid-ish, because when I saw, because now it's rare that like baby mothers will do that, because they don't ever want the full story to be displayed, you know. But Elle was like, she was like super arrogant, you know. She was super arrogant on that end about that situation. All right. So before I get into, because today this is going to be a very broad show. I'm going to cover many things. That's why I didn't even put a title on the show. But like I said, we can address Orange Man and Sleepy Joe. We can address Orange Man and Sleepy Joe. Oh yeah, and by the way, guys, if you guys get the chance, watch the full hour and 10 minutes of this video. Watch the full YRUGAE full interview with Pastor Sempa, right? This guy is the real deal, you know. Man. Oh, he said, let's effing go. That's what LFG stands for. Shout out to Doug MPA. Oh man, I still haven't done a soundbite for when certain people come through. When certain people come in, I gotta have a soundbite ready to go. Well, let me see what I have on my soundboard so far, because I just add certain things from time to time. I still got the swallowed up sound bite. I got to remove this soundbite because I didn't realize this was this is a soundbite that I got in there. I thought it was the presidential theme, but it isn't. It isn't. So I gotta, you know, delete that. Damn, I almost exited out my whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, if you guys get the chance, please watch this full interview. It's too good. It's too good. It's one of the best interviews you will ever see in your life. Orange Man says no tax on tips. I agree. Those are gifts for exceptional service. Yeah, right now they're and also Shiznit on this channel just say Orange Man only for algorithm purposes. Don't type out his name. Like, for example, don't put, President, right? Don't put President 44's name or 45. Like, so Orange Man is President 45. The president before him is 44. So we call him Barry O, because if you say certain names, your stream will get messed up. I bear witness to that. If you say certain people, so we got to give them code names on here. So President 45 will be addressed as either President 45 or Orange Man. The Shiznit said, I'll call him Blump. But on here, Orange Man. Orange Man Bad. That's his code name. Orange Man Bad, and then obviously for President 46, we call him Sleepy Joe. Or you can just say Adam West, right? And Adam West is a reference to the Family Guy character. Adam West, Family Guy, right? So this is who we have in office right now. No cap. This guy right here. That's Sleepy Joe. This is Sleepy Joe, or you can call him Adam West, right? AKA Adam West in real life, because that's basically who Sleepy Joe is right now. Anyway, let's touch in, you say Mr. T or Brandon. Oh, man. Anyway. Oh, Shinobi. Whatever you do, don't say the name, Chris Mike. That will definitely get you shadow banned at the minimum. First of all, I already am shadow banned. I found that out via like certain people. They're saying like their comments be getting removed. It only shows up under newest. You know what I mean? Like it's already happening. It's already happening. Or like I'll have like a viral short, and it'll be like 5,000 views in like 2 hours, and it'll just stop. It'll just stop growing from there. And I've seen this happen to various content creators, more infamously the content creator / former NBA player Kwame Brown. His subscriber count was just skyrocketing, and then it just stopped out of nowhere, and then it just declined after that. Like, that was weird. I was like, okay, this is too much. Like, this is some weird stuff. But anyway, remember the video that we did covering Matthew Stafford's Matthew Stafford's current wife, right? And she was talking her nonsense. Let's play that video one more time.
Wait, so was he trying to casually date and you were all in?
Yeah, girl. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like,
that'll do it.
He was a bad boy too. Like, Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm, because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing. Working.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car, and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
Wait, so was he trying to casually date and you were all in?
Yeah, girl. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup.
So because of this nonsense, we talk about, right, not only her disrespecting her husband, right, and making Matthew Stafford look like a straight chump out here. So not only did we speak on that, we talked about how women don't understand collateral damage, right? The collateral damage of Matthew Stafford's teammates, how they look at him, the opponents, how they're going to target him, how they're going to make fun of him, the backup QB and his family or whoever it is. Because remember, there were two QBs backing up Matthew Stafford at that time. It was Joe Cox, this man here that you see up here with his family, Joe Cox, and Logan Gray, right? So unfortunately, because of her talking, people assumed it was Joe Cox because he was the second in command. He was the backup QB. Logan Gray was the third was the third backup. So that was the third. He was the Joe Cox was the real backup QB. Logan Gray was the third. Now, the person that she was talking about, people just assumed it was Joe Cox. But she had to write an apology to him and his family. So I can't really zoom in. I was trying to look at the if I can zoom in on the apology. Let me see. I think I got something via TMZ because she ended up sending an apology, but not to her husband, but which is funny in and of itself, right? I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Oh, I can. Okay. She said, "To this beautiful family, I am sorry for the media storm that happened last week that made its way into your lives. You had zero involvement in what I spoke about. And in fact, it was y'all's relationship in college that I looked up to and wanted for me and Matthew to have. You were the couple that everyone thinks Matthew and I was. Y'all were the UGA QB and cheerleader that met and never let go. I love y'all." So Joe Cox wasn't even the QB she was talking about that she slept with. It was Logan Gray, right? So now we know who it was for sure. It was this guy, Logan Gray. Okay. So this was actually the QB she was talking about, Logan Gray, right? He was one of the backups. But during that time, they had two known QBs on the roster that was backing up Matthew Stafford at University of Georgia. So now everybody was looking at all of University of Georgia's backups when Matthew Stafford was the starter, and they're just like, man, they just assumed it was Joe Cox because he was the most known backup. He was the backup at the time for Matt Stafford at the University of Georgia. And when we talk about collateral damage, now imagine Matthew Stafford's wife, right? She says what she says. Now imagine what was happening at Joe at Joe Cox's household. I bet you, because she's saying that this chick here, she was the cheerleader and she ended up marrying Joe Cox. They said that she was a cheerleader at the spot as well. So in her mind, she probably thinking, wait a minute, you was fucking you was screwing Kelly too. You probably caused a whole fight, drama, nonsense all up at his house. Meanwhile, she wasn't even talking about him the whole time. But because when we talk about collateral damage, people probably at his wife's job, right now, because we know like these are work, like she probably has a job right now. He has a job. People in the neighborhood talking about him and her, or her at the time, like the collateral damage of her opening her mouth. She just, and by the way, it's funny for her that she's apologizing to Joe Cox and his family. And I'm literally like, what about the apology that you owe your husband? Oh man. Oh, whoa. Shinobi One, he's hitting on something crazy right now. So Shinobi One, shout out to the Warband, by the way. He said, I have read some things on the web zones that say rich and famous people are doing DNA tests on their kids. And guess what? They ain't theirs, happening more and more frequently. Like I said, the what should be the most how do I say it? The most startling thing that you should hear, because anybody that knows, in France, it's illegal to do DNA tests. In France, it's illegal. And when they asked the government or the municipalities, right? They're like, why is it illegal for a man to find out if it's his kid or not? They said that if they did this, quote, I'm telling you, they said if we did this, this would just mess up the whole stability of the society. And I'm like, damn, it's that bad? I'm like, they basically said like we just can't do it. We can't. It would mess up the whole. It would just mess up everything. So off rip, that should already tell you when we talk about female nature, the cheating, the amount of cheating that most women do. Or I'm not gonna say, well, yeah, that I'll say most women do, because the opportunities to cheat, what they do to cheat, the backup dudes that they have in mind, in quote unquote the happily married people, right? When the stats came out that most married women, they said like 70% of married women already have the backup man in mind. So, but like I said, in France, it's illegal to test for the DNA of your kid. That's why, I've always, when I was a kid, or even now, sometimes I would romanticize about living in France, because I always wondered what it would be like to live in France and play, soccer. It's football everywhere else, but we call it soccer here in America. And I always fantasize in living in this place like France or Netherlands, you know what I mean? But knowing the things that I know about the laws now, there's no way I could live in a spot like France where you can't even test for the DNA of your own kid. That's wild. That's just wild, man. But man, shout out to the Warband. But yeah, Shinobi ones, you're right. You can buy DNA test kits anywhere, and you're really supposed to just do it in secret. I saw a video by this man. I can't remember his name off rip. Bruno. And he was talking about, look, men, just get the DNA test, but just do it. Don't announce it. Just do it in secret and whatever. But like I said, watch this. What you guys are saying, what you guys are saying is interesting in terms of doing this in secret. The amount of paternity fraud that we see now, right? It makes you wonder, when women were complaining about men leaving them in the past, I wonder if one of the top reasons is it'll be a man with a woman, and then the kid would come out and it'll talk about he was 2 years old and then he abandoned us. He probably looked at that kid and he's like, that kid does not look like me. And he left. I think that is one of the underlying reasons that because people want to talk about men were abandoning their families back in the day. I think that was one of the reasons why men were abandoning their families, because it'll be like they probably were having a kid with a woman, and they'll be like 2 years later or a year later, they were looking at that kid and they're just like, that kid is not from me. And they didn't know how they found out. And then they probably started doing their investigations. They probably found out. So, and we see the amount of paternity fraud, especially like there's like certain countries, paternity fraud is at a rate of like 60%. Like in Nigeria, like Nigeria, it's really bad in Nigeria. It's like 68%, something crazy like that. Jamaica is god awful. The paternity fraud rate is so bad. Like it's criminally bad. So I don't even want to tell you the percentage in Jamaica. So this is not just an American thing. This is something that women just think they could just do that. That's why, like, they're never going to make a law where just like mandatory paternity tests. That's never going to happen. So men, we're going to have to do that shit ourselves, or we have to make sure whoever we marry in the future, if you guys plan on being married or having a long-term relationship, you need to tell that woman, all of my kids are being DNA tested. And if she has a problem with that, she's a cheater. Bottom line. Harp's Desire say better to do DNA tests in secret. Just take a little hair off the baby's head when mom ain't around and send it to the lab. This is true. That's what men are doing, you know. But you know, I there's let me show you guys something real quick, man. Let me show you guys something real quick. Because the conservatives, they think they're winning right now, but we already know what's happening. I'm about to show you guys something. Because the conservatives are like passing these laws lately where it's like now you got to have a Bible in every class and stuff like that, or they're saying that they're getting rid of no fault divorce or something like that. Let me look this up. No fault divorce. Right here. Because I read this in The Guardian a couple days ago. So right here, they say conservative U.S. lawmakers are pushing for an end to no-fault divorce, right? And the reason, so they're saying Republicans in Louisiana, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Texas have discussed eliminating, restricting such cases. And like I said, they're doing the same thing with, baby deletions and all that stuff, trying to prevent that. But really, what they're attempting to do, and it's too late, they're trying to quote unquote save the Caucasian race, right? But it's too late. It's too late. And just because these conservatives are passing these laws now, that does not mean that they care about men. Because if they cared about men, they would eliminate child support and they would require mandatory paternity testing. Specifically, those two things. They will require mandatory paternity testing. I'm talking about just because like Tennessee has a law where basically if you request child support, then they have to do a paternity test, which is very fair, that should really just be automatic, but that's just me, If you care about men, it should be the first thing that we should be pushing for is mandatory paternity tests. That should be the first thing we should be pushing for. Because this is why I say that. I'd say that even before the child support. And I'll tell you why. You can ask, bro, I'm telling you, you really think about if you ask the average American broad, because I've asked, I'll give you an example. This is how bad paternity fraud is. People don't even realize how bad this stuff is. I was talking to this so-called, couple, right, in an open relationship. So this girl, she was in a quote-unquote open relationship. Oh, he's so secure. He lets me mess with other dudes, and I don't know what he really does, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, fine. Now, and then I just happened to ask her. I'm like, are you pro mandatory paternity tests? Would you have a problem with that? Man, the shuffling that she did. I'm telling you, like she was like, well, I wouldn't do this and blah, blah, blah. But I don't feel like I should. And I'm like, but shouldn't your boyfriend, shouldn't he have the right to? It don't like, I don't care if she's a conservative, it's a woman in an open relationship. I would think that, okay, if you're in an open relationship, shouldn't it be like, okay, we should do a paternity test just off rip? Nope. They're not trying to hear that shit. This is how bad it is. You would think you're in an open relationship, so it should really be. Forget about I'll say this. Forget about the child support, right? Forget about it. Because I like the way that Tennessee does it, where if you apply for child support, automatic DNA paternity test. I like that, So shout out to Tennessee on that end. Shout out to Tennessee, because they had that law. You file for child support on the man, automatic paternity test. But I'll say, me personally, I would advocate for mandatory paternity tests over child support. Because I'm telling you, you could give the broad the deal of the century. You can literally be like, oh yeah, I'll marry you. And yeah, you can break up with me. You can take half my stuff. Just one caveat. Every kid of mine will be paternity tested. And if one comes out weird, everything is voided. I'm talking about most broads will not take that. I'm talking about you can literally offer her half of your stuff. I'm talking about you can be a millionaire, billionaire, and say, yeah, you can, we can get married. If you want a divorce, you can divorce at any time and blah, blah, blah. You can literally give her that deal of a lifetime. And the only caveat would be, look, all of my kids are going to be paternity tested. She's not going to take the deal. She's not going to take it. I really thought about it. And I'm like, if we gave broads the perfect scenario where I'm talking about divorce laws stay the same, but we had that caveat, mandatory paternity testing. All my kids will be paternity tested. And it's a problem. How is that a problem? If you're not a cheater, it's literally like, oh, okay, all I got to do is show up and not cheat. Perfect. Because women be cheating, though. They be fucking. They know, and they know they're susceptible. What's the term? Susceptible. They're susceptible to cheating, right? They know they're ran by emotion. They know they're gonna fuck up one day. They know how they are as women. This is why they can't do it. They will never do anything to get they're going to make sure that doesn't get passed. So unfortunately, it's up to us as men to either we need to request the paternity testing, the DNA testing, or, because you guys say just do it in private. But like I said, in certain states, if you sign the certificate, you're still liable for child support. That's why I'm like, nah, fuck that. Mandatory paternity testing. Fuck that. Because most men are literally, like, I'm talking about, there are men that they don't want paternity testing. They're that cucked. I'm talking about they're that cucked that they're not even trying. They don't even want that law to be passed. That's how cucked the average man today is. So this is why we need mandatory paternity tests instead of just, okay, we do it, because most men are not going to do it. And I believe every man should have the right to know if this is my kid. And the way I see women push back on it, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm talking about conservative Christian women arguing me in the comments about this stuff. And you're like, wow. you're just like, you're like, wow, I didn't know this was as big of a problem. African women making a joke about the whole ish, acting like that shit's funny. Tells you everything you need to know. I'm talking about African women making jokes about this stuff. About, oh, you who all right, let me not be disrespectful. But they be making jokes about this stuff. You're just like, wow, this is a real problem. This is a real problem. Shinobi One says there's a news article out saying that Roger Federer, the number 1 tennis player in the world, he DNA tested his daughters. What? It says it's not his. What? Is this recent? This is because I know this happened to like a Nigerian football player. He found out all of his kids weren't his. It was like all 3 of his kids were not his once he did the paternity test. This can't be that. No way. Don't tell me they did that to Federer, man. That's crazy. This is a guy who has the claim to say he's the best athlete of all time. He has a claim to that. He could literally, like, his resume as an athlete, as a tennis player, he could say, oh, I'm the best athlete of all time. He can say that. Say paternity test. When did this happen? Wow, this is recent. So how come I didn't know about this? Yeah, like I said, this is a problem. Like I said, it should be mandatory, but like I said, the way women like they shy away from this issue, or they'll joke, or like you'll have African women joking about this. This is a real problem. This is a serious problem. That's crazy. I didn't know. It's interesting. They didn't have this. They didn't have this on CNN. I'm looking for is all via Facebook and Twitter and other YouTube channels that are reporting that. Damn, this even happened to tennis star Gael Monfils. Oh my, well, because he's from France, so we already know. Because like in France, you're not even. Man, this should have been like major news. Okay, so they did this on Kenya Talk. So shout out to Kenya Talk, whatever I get. Oh, this is a more of a thread website. So this is not even a real news site. I mean, they don't have this on no. That's crazy.
Sports PH right here. Roger Federer shock as DNA results reveal Mila and Charlene are not his biological children. Damn.
This is criminal, man. That's wild, man. Man, that's crazy that happened to Roger Federer. And I'll say this. Nah, man, I don't like that. I don't like that. But like I said, I've talked to like these women will be they swear that they're so progressive. They're like, oh, this is we need new. I'm like, okay, so since we're doing everything new, there's a new invention called, DNA. Shout out to OJ Simpson. Shout out to OJ Simpson. That's another thing. We should be thanking OJ Simpson because people were really on that DNA stuff after that trial. Bro, we got this new invention called paternity. The DNA testing. We can find out if we're the so we got this new thing. Why don't we incorporate that? No, let's not do that. Oh, okay. Oh man, but yeah, after people don't understand, like after the OJ case, like obviously they were using DNA before that, but I'm just saying after that case, DNA started being like really like mainstream. You know what I mean? Like it was really something that people would focus on. So Shinobi One says, when you have a certain level of wealth, your woman must be vetted out. But how do you even? No, it's impossible, because, like I said, this is why you would have back in the days there would be certain things in place. This is why I believe mandatory paternity testing, it would put holes in check, because it's clear and it makes sense when you think about it. When you look at the statistics, most women cheat not outside of their ovulation phase. Most women cheat when they're ovulating. And that phase is that like it's literally like a 3 to 5 day period when they're ovulating. And that's when they do most of their cheating out of the month. So when you ovulate, obviously when you're ovulating, once you're receiving sperm during that period, that's the only way a woman can get pregnant, is when she receives sperm while she's ovulating. So it makes sense when you look at the signs, when you look at the statistics behind it, it makes sense. That makes sense. why the paternity rate is the fraud rate is the way it is. The cheating rate is the way it is. Because at the end of the day, they always tell men, oh, you need to keep it in your pants and blah, blah, blah. But it's clear that when women are ovulating, they can't keep it in their pants. So you need to have laws to regulate that. They need to make sure they have laws to regulate that. But like I said, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do these things to quote unquote hamper women, you know? It's wild. That's just wild. But I'm glad that like Tennessee really put that hamper on. Look, if you want the child support, boom, you gotta take this test, you know. And like I said, it's fine, but it's fine. It's not even a matter of that, because we know women are gonna cheat. But at the same time, the average 304 would have to think about it, because at the end of the day, the truth will be revealed one way or another. The truth will be revealed one way or another. The truth will be revealed one way. You can't hide. Eventually, people are going to find out who you are. Eventually. But like I said, that's not going to, because most women operate, dual mating strategy. That's what most women operate on, a dual mating strategy thing. So what people don't understand, and I've talked about this on this channel before, when women get married, or say if a woman gets engaged, she's not messing with one dude. When you say like the average American woman, she's not just messing with one dude. She's messing with two dudes. Or even if she is messing with the one dude that engages her, right? She's going to call her dude that she really likes, or that's still smashing on the low, and she's gonna be like, look, this dude, I just accepted an engagement ring from this dude. And she's not gonna say she's not gonna ask the guy to engage. She's just gonna put that news out there to see if he's going to match the offer that the other guy did. That's usually is what's happening behind the scenes. Like the way they put it in movies, where it's like, oh, it's just a woman talking to one dude during that engagement period. No, she's usually talking to multiple dudes. What in the hell? It says hip hooray for immunist transvestites of color engaged in jihad. What the oh, hell nah. Pause on what you just said there. Light Warrior, shout out to the War Band again. He says, all 304s cheap. The system is in their favor. If you as a man don't properly vet these 304s, you will lose more than money. But like I said, I don't even think the vetting matters. Because if you're in a country like France, what does it matter? And like I said, they always talk about men need to keep it in their pants, but it's clear that women cannot keep it in their pants when they're ovulating. They can't. So it doesn't even matter in terms of vetting, right? But because most men are not even in the position to vet. Most men are in a position like, okay, they have like one woman. Most men, like the average man, they can only vet like one woman. They don't have like multiple women to like vet from. It's just, you just hope that one woman is decent. It's only like a few men that can be like, okay, I'm messing with this broad and I'm messing with this broad. Even the most handsome dudes that I knew, I'm talking about like the most handsome dudes I knew, they couldn't just get a threesome like that. Like the average fat 304 can just walk into a bar and she could be like ridiculously fat, like just disgusting. And she could walk out with 3 guys. I'm talking about the most disgusting, fat, whatever. She can go into a random bar and come out with 3 guys ready to do a foursome or threesome with her. I'm talking about handsome dudes I know, handsome, like actually, like where girls actually find the dude, you know, quote unquote hot or cute, whatever. Those guys, even they gotta. They can't just. Even for them, I'm telling you, like it's not like. So vetting us, like a man vetting a woman, is different from a woman vetting a man, because we can't really vet because we don't have that many options to vet from. Because most of the ones are 304s anyways, and you end up finding out you're like, I can't fuck with this bitch anyways. So you'll probably have one or two at most in your life. I'm talking about out of all of the broads that you mess with, it'll probably been one or two where you're like, okay, maybe she's acting right. Okay, maybe I might even think about something long term. And then even that, even if you have the perfect situation, the laws in America, it's too favorable to the 304. Man. So right here, Light Warrior dropping knowledge. He says it doesn't matter in France or Spain. DNA tests don't matter there. If you're married, the bastard is now your problem. Exactly. Now, like I said, so Light Warrior said, and obviously the phrase "no hymen, no diamond, a man's best odds." This is true. If you're able to find a virgin out, I'll say this: if you're able to find a virgin out here, especially in America, good luck. Like I remember Corey Holcomb was talking about this. He said, "Bro, if you're looking for a virgin, they're probably gonna arrest you." Meaning, guys, the only virgins that you're gonna find, especially nowadays, is probably she's gonna be fresh out of middle school. Because most of the girls that I know, in my case, they lost their virginity at 13 or 14 years old. For me, I keep hearing 13. But most, they've showed the virginity charts for like girls. They like, I'm talking about like, I remember I saw a chart and they show like the virginity rates for most women, for like the average girl, right? And literally once they hit age 16, half of the female virgins were gone. Half. It was like something, it was crazy. It was like 50, it was over 50%. So it was like half of the female virgins were gone after age 16. And then by the time she hits 18, and then she goes to, and then by the what's like 18, and then by 19, if you want a virgin in America, she's gonna have to be at least, and I'm sorry to say this, 18 years old. And even then, I'm talking about in today's day and age, it needs to be a socially awkward 18-year-old that has not stepped foot in college yet. Unfortunately. And then like that's I'm telling you, it's very rare that you're gonna find a 22-year-old virgin, a 23 or 24-year-old female virgin. And first of all, if the girl is 27-year-old and she's saying, "Oh, I'm a virgin," she's lying. Trust me, she's lying. I promise you on everything. She's like, because I've heard women say, "Oh, I'm a vaginal virgin," but basically she lets everybody else, screw her in the poop hole, and then she'll say, "I'm a vaginal virgin," and even then they're lying about that as well. I gotta find this video for you guys, because women will tell you you're not gonna find a whole lot of female virgins out here at a certain age, like not in the 20s. Like if you're trying to find like a female virgin, like in the age range of like 21 through 24, like that, it's after age 21, it's gonna be rare. I'm talking about after age 21 or 22. you're probably not gonna find a female virgin out there, guys. I'm sorry. Unless if you're willing to date young, unless if you're willing to date younger women, you know, it's not it's not gonna happen. I wish I can find that video. It's this video of Elle from Tacos and Shawarma, and she was mad that dudes was talking about virginity. And you already know women are very sensitive when it comes to the virginity subject because most of them lost it when they were younger. And you got a lot of these bras, they lost their virginity. These bras, a lot of these bras done lost their virginity. I'm talking about to back shots. I'm talking about no missionary back shots. And the dude was like, all right, see you later. And that's traumatizing, bro. That's traumatizing. If you a broad that's like 15 years old, you lose your virginity to a Chad or a Tyrone, whatever, or a Pookie, a drug dealer, a guy that was just using you, and it was just back shots. The dude lasted like 2 or 3 seconds, and then he just pushed you on your way, and you're that's traumatizing, man. That's traumatizing as hell, man. I wish I could find that video for you, but that's gonna be like that's gonna be like all the way down. That's a video of yesteryear. I think that video is from like last year or something like that. You know, they're like if you can find a female version, man. Shout out to y'all. Shinobi one said looking for a virgin vampire with a regeneration jutsu. But also another reason why we say no hymen, no diamond is because when you look at the statistics, 80 like if you marry a virgin, you have an 80% success chance of the marriage lasting a lifetime. 80% chance. And obviously that makes sense because she's your only experience. Women cannot serve two masters. So especially once they go into college and they see what they need to see, there's no way you can work it out with a bitch that goes to college. There's no way. There's no way. Let me see. Dr. Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, it's just, you know. Drop YouTube. Are you a troll? Yeah, drop YouTube might be a troll. Let me see. Oh man. Yeah, even like I said, so if you do find like an actual virgin and she's like decent looking and I'm talking about she's decent looking and she do have men coming after her and she's an actual legit virgin, you know she's not just gonna take a regular dude. Like girls, they're not looking for guy that work at UPS no more, guy that work at the factory no more. Like to them, you gotta at least like she's like the average broad that's like not pro feminism and she wants to be a trad con and she wants to quote unquote take care of the house. They're not looking for average guys. They're not. Those days are over. Those days are not coming back. Shinobi one said they always said women are good at multitasking except Chad and Tyrone's are the tasks. But like I said, so you got these, they're saying that they're pushing for an end to no fault divorce and all this stuff, you know, the 10 commandments in the classroom, and we're seeing a conservative surge, whatever. But you know, like I said, if they actually want to do something, they would actually push, you know, paternity tests. Well, you know, it is what it is. I don't think they're gonna do it. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it, you know. But anyway, Let me see if I can still find that video. If not, I'll just give up and go to the next topic. It's bothering me that I can't find it, but I got way too many videos on here. Oh, I found it. I found it, guys. As soon as I started talking shit. Take a listen. I need you guys to take a listen to this. Take a listen to this. If you guys are still looking for virgins, look, I'm not saying like if you find a virgin, don't marry her or whatever, but I'm just saying it's people want to talk about what a high value woman is. It would be a virgin in this day and age. It would be a virgin, and she's not just gonna give herself away to somebody that work at Amazon warehouse. It's just not going. It's not going to happen. So here, let's take a listen. Oh,
West, like in middle
Nowhere,
school.
nowhere.
So stop.
let me see.
Where are you finding a virgin in the West? Like in middle
Nowhere,
school.
nowhere.
So stop saying, "Are you a virgin? What's your body count?" This shit is weird. It's getting really,
Well,
really
I don't
weird.
think anybody asked that. I mean,
I just see it in the comments a lot, like, "Oh, you have a high. What's your body count?" Like,
Wait.
where are you finding a virgin in the West?
So right here, she snitches on herself and basically her peers. And I've been telling you guys this. They be losing their virginity in middle school. People don't want to talk about this, but I'm telling you, they don't people be I don't know what is particularly with dads. They be thinking that women be losing their virginity at 18 or when they go to college. No, they lose their virginity like way earlier than that. Way earlier. Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes earlier than middle school. Right here, she says, where are you finding a virgin in the West? In middle school?
Like in middle
Nowhere,
school.
nowhere.
Bingo. So for her to say that, people saying, oh, she's been around. Yes, of course she's been around. Of course she's been around. But for her to say what she said, that she's also talking about her peers, her fellow female classmates, her fellow female friends. She's like, you're not gonna find a virgin here. So, like I said, when women feel offended, they feel attacked, they start saying how they feel, or they start saying the truth. And sometimes it could be a little bit of both. And I'm telling you, there's truth to her statement. If you're gonna find a virgin in the West, they're gonna arrest you for being a pervert, because she's gonna be fresh out of middle school. These broads be losing their virginity at 13, 14 years old, right? Particularly 13. In my opinion, I be seeing a lot of 13. So I always keep hearing and I keep seeing 13. It's too many broads that I keep hearing. I hear them talk and they're just literally, they keep saying, oh, I was 13. I was 14. I keep hearing 13 and 14. They'll say this. Unfortunately, I've heard 12. Unfortunately, I've heard lower than that. And when if somebody's saying that, and that girl, trust me, if she's saying 13 or 12, the guy is minimum 4 years older than her, meaning the guy's already a junior or a sophomore in high school, or even older. And then in the hood, the guys will be like 28 years old, and the chick will be 14 years old. No cap. The bitch will be 15 years old, and her boyfriend will be like 32 years old. And people be shocked. People be so shocked. People be so shocked. Man. People be so shocked. Shinobi said, have you seen the body the skit if the body count was tattooed in your head? I think I've seen that before. But we'd be effed. People be surprised. And it's not the Suki Hana types. It's them nerd girls that you think that are innocent. They be the biggest freaks out there. Drop YouTube said, I just graduated from Harvard. Oh, congratulations. So Drop YouTube said all bits in girls should have their gender changed before age 12. Yeah, he's trolling. He's trolling. Hopefully you're not somebody. There's a Asian dude that I knew from middle school, and there's an Asian dude I knew from middle school who was hilarious. But right now he's off his rocker apparently. So like he like gave up a really good high school scholarship when he was in high school to just be a YouTuber. And I think he kind of like, I don't know if he went to college or not. So I don't know. Maybe that's him. I don't know. Because I told a boy of mine to see if you can find his Instagram account, but he's wild. Oh, Midnight Sunset or church girls. Anybody that been in church, they know church girls be the biggest freaks, especially whoever the pastor's daughter is. It's a 40% chance whoever the pastor's daughter is going to get pregnant earlier than expected. Whoever the pastor's daughter is, 40% chance she's going to get pregnant earlier than expected. Trust me. Earlier than expected. You know. Shinobi One says, see that cute church girl at a desk, eye closed, maybe praying, looking at her body count, tat +1, it went up. What's under that desk? Oh man. So I guess that's how the skit went. But I don't know if I saw the skit. But I did see something where it was like dudes walking around and it was like two broads and they had their body count tatted on their forehead. It was something like that, you know. But I don't remember how it exactly went. That's something else. I'm talking about something else separately right now. You know. Man, oh yeah, don't trust church girls. They trying to fuck the pastor. You know what I mean? If they can't fuck the pastor, then the pastor's son, not the pastor's son, then the musicians. And if that doesn't work, they get tricked by somebody that she thinks has clout, then she's gonna be like, there's no single men in the church. Oh man, I think I need to show you that video again. I think I gotta show you that video again where the pastor kind of there was a pastor that basically exposed because the problem with this is the problem with black women. Black women be just making up statistics. Like women make up statistics and stuff when they're trying to make it, but black women, they'll just make up statistics. Like, for example, like Cynthia G, she would just make up, like she would literally just make up statistics. Now, and you know that she's lying because she kept on saying 90% this and 95% that and 99% this and 90. I'm like, whoa. If a pandemic is happening and if the infection rate is already at 30 to 40%, that's already alarming. That's already alarming. If it's at 90%, that means everybody's about to be dead. That means it's over. That means it's like no chance of even recovering. You know, like when so like when she kept using like percentages, because women don't really understand percentages, right? If you tell a woman, okay, most of the people in this neighborhood are this, and you'll tell her, 40% of the people are doing this, so this is most. So because it's not over 50%, she still thinks that the 40% isn't most. But I'm like, you do know percentages work. Like, it could be 40% here, 20% here, and then the rest could be like 5% here, 3% here, 7% here, 10% here. And eventually it all adds up to 100%. So sometimes in certain sample sizes, 40% could be a large sample size compared to the other percentages. But like I said, women are not trying to hear all that. Women are not trying to hear all that. Let me see if I could find that video. Woman says there's no single men in church. I gotta find that. I wish. Is there a video of that? It was a black church. Pastor calls for all single men in church. Oh man, I can't. Is there's gotta be a video, because it was a black church. Man, I can't, man. They be hiding these videos because it'd be exposing too much. Yeah. Lines up all single men in church. It wasn't even no matchmaking, because it was like the woman in the crowd. It was obviously a fat woman, and she was talking about, oh, there's no single men in church, and all the all the other available ones are already taken. And she like made up a statistic on the spot, and he was like, whoa. Okay, he just goes, okay, let's dispel that. Everybody that is single here, I want you to line up in the front of the church. And it was damn near the whole church was filled. And you even heard a woman in the church was like, damn, I didn't know there was that many single men in this church. But like I said, women like that, they're only looking at the pastor's kid, musicians, and maybe people on the deacon board. That's it. They're not looking for nobody else. Everybody else, they don't exist. They're not even human, as Chronic would say to her. Not in her eyes. They're not even human. This is why you can't listen to women when they talk about men problems, what kind of things they have. Oh, man, I wish to God I had that video, man, because it was a perfect illustration. It was freaking perfect. And he thought and the pastor thought he made a great example, and he thought that, okay, women are gonna see this, and nope. And you should have saw her face right after. It was like, it was clear that she's not trying to listen. Oh yeah, by the way, BWs, they're cooked. There's no saving them. BWs are cooked. Good luck to the BWs in the future, but they're cooked. They are cooked. Oh man. You know, I'm gonna look quickly at the watch later. Let me just see quickly. If it's there. And if it's not there, I'm gonna show you a classic video from Corey Holcomb. And I don't think it should. It's not from the 5150 show, but it's a segment from an old Zoe Williams segment. And I'm gonna show you one of the videos that I watched when I was in college in 2016 or 2017, if I'm not mistaken. It was either 2016 or 2017 I watched this. It was probably 2017. Oh, come on, man. I did not click. Jesus Christ. Anyway. I'm trying to try to. But man, I don't know if I can find that, because it was just so telling. It was all these single men lined up in the front of the church, and you literally heard a woman like, damn, I didn't know there was that many single men up there. But like I said, they don't count the dudes that's in parking ministry. They don't count the men that's working in daycare. They don't really count the ushers. They don't count the men that are volunteering at the soup kitchen. Most men are just invisible to women. They just are. They just are. This is why it's not, you're not really supposed to listen to women. You're not supposed to listen to women. But anyway, let me show you this old Corey Holcomb segment real quick. Let me show you this whole old Corey Holcomb segment from the Zoe Williams show, right? These are the people that I've watched These are the people that I watched in college. These are the people. These are the segments that would really red pill me. You know, to be really clear. You know, and he's talking about women being the original liars. All right. Let me hit that playback speed 1.25. Here we go.
The original liar is the woman, and she continues to lie her way through life. And now, I'm just saying, and now the all.
Oh yeah, by the way, Tariq Nasheed was on this segment. I remember this. Tariq Nasheed was on this segment. And it's interesting. Tariq Nasheed actually said some real shit on this segment. Here, Corey Holcomb, Zoe Williams, and Tariq, they're actually going to dive in, and Bobby Glanton Smith are going to dive in on what's the real problem in the Black community. What is the real, who are the real perpetrators? Who are the real perpetrators, right? And I'm just going to show you a quick insight to Corey Holcomb's thinking in these things, which ended up changing how I viewed certain situations and certain people.
The original liar is the woman, and she continues to lie her way through life. And now, I'm just saying, and now the offspring of wretched club bitches rule the street.
The
offspring of wretched club bitches are out there in large numbers. Brothers used to have to worry about the police and stuff like that. Now you have to worry about these misguided children that was raised by a woman only. Who her backup comes from the court system, and the children are trained against the man.
Are you saying
yes
that hold on. Are you saying that a woman cannot raise a balanced child on her own without the help of a man?
What I'm saying is, because diamonds are a girl's best friend, they don't care that the person who is giving them their power is destroying the community. They are still willing to go with that because they get the rewards.
Absolutely. But what about what DT said?
Did you hear what Corey Holcomb said right there? This is powerful stuff, man. This is powerful stuff. These, mind you, I want you to read the date of this, because I'm not making this stuff up when I tell you, 2016, 2017. This video was posted 9 years ago. 2014. This segment was in 2014. I think the segment was done in 2013, or 2012, if I'm not mistaken, because Zoe Williams had like a catalog of videos just like this, where he'd bring Corey Holcomb on and he'll just cause havoc. You know what I mean? But when we talk about the situations in the hood, right, or in the Black community, or just in the community in general, women know the people that are giving them their power mean no good for society. They know that what the child support system is. They know what alimony is. They know what that is, but they don't care. As long as they get what they want, they don't care. And this is where everything started clicking for me.
About balance, this is what I think.
There can never be balance unless the person who is in power, who should be in power, is in power. The people in power now are evil. And women are like, well, fuck it, they in power, so we running with them.
So you saying whoever got the power, they got the women.
Right, so we don't have to worry about the women necessarily, because they will follow whoever is in power.
Dr. Mark does not agree with you.
If I got money at the club, I got power. I can fuck most of the bitches in the club. And I know motherfuckers don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. Whoever is in power, that's who the women will follow automatically.
Good
so our war is
so
not
I can be a devil worshiper, but if I got power,
our war is not with the women. There are resources.
Maybe you want some more Lucifer juice?
Right. Our war is with the people in power.
Absolutely.
They'll follow behind once we get our power back.
Interesting. You don't agree either, Brandy, do you? I see you. looking.
He's
So.
steaming. Yeah, you know, I just think it's all ridiculous.
So this is gonna be the main talking point right here. What black women usually do, or women in general, when we mention the solutions, when we start telling what it really is, they start saying the same thing. But why don't men take up the responsibility? Why don't you man up? This is why before I even entered this space, this is why even before I entered this space, I already saw all of this. I already saw all of this. Zoe Williams used to have a panel. He would have his show, and it would be just him, and then it would have a panel of 304s. Various jobs, various careers. And when he would bring up a topic, they would be talking about nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know what people was in the comments saying? Oh, you know, those are just the girls in LA. They're in Inglewood. More excuses for women talking about nothing, women offering nothing, women offering excuses to their 304 behavior. Nothing.
Talisman is glowing. You're upset that a woman can't raise a child properly by herself. Well, why don't you take yourself home and raise your child too?
Okay, here's the reason.
There's a reason a lot of black men aren't in the home.
I'm sure there is.
Did you want that answer?
I'm sure there are.
Would you like that
I'm
answer?
saying that in general. Men should never get mad at women because I guarantee you, no matter how much they yap, if you have the money and power, them bitches will be right up under you. You don't even have to. I don't give a fuck if a bitch hate me. If I got enough money and power, that bitch will smile with me and do what the fuck I want her to do as long as she can get some money or whatever from me.
So
it doesn't even matter.
Money and power purchases the woman.
Look at all of the single moms. And they want to act like they're victims. They're not victims. They just fuck who they want to fuck instead of who they should fuck.
All relationships are based.
Bottom line. Single moms are not victims. They just fuck who they want to fuck instead of who they should be with. Bottom line. Shout out, man. I wish I had an applause button for Corey Holcomb. You know, these videos, man, it's I see D Shiznit. It says age like, what's it? He said age like wine. These videos right here are priceless. Priceless. Especially to the, you know, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to disrespect Kevin Samuels, but there's a lot of people that I would reference and they'd be like, oh, you just took it from Kevin Samuels. And you're just like, well, these people already exist. Like, I'm talking about you'd say like a quote from like Tom Likas, right? Or you'd say something, I'd say something from I'd say something from like Obsidian. fuck everybody. I'll say somebody from like the Black Manosphere says something, and then they'll be like, you just took that from Kevin Samuels. I'm like, this guy was kind of here before Kevin Samuels and these people. So, you know, I'm happy these videos are still there just to show, you know, Corey Holcomb's brilliance, Patrice O'Neal's brilliance, right? And I'll show you, you know, I might, if I have a chance, I might show you the stuff that Tariq Nasheed even said. Because like I said, Tariq Nasheed, you know, well, maybe that's because Corey Holcomb was there. He was saying some real shit. He was saying some real shit where he was actually putting the accountability on BWs for participating with the evil people in power in destroying the neighborhood. I might fast forward on that end, but you know, man, I remember the woman, she tried to say something to Corey at the end of this because I've seen the full interview of this. I've seen the full interview. I think it's on Zoe's channel, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember she tried to go at Corey and she's like, I feel bad for your baby mom. And then he replied back. He said, I feel sorry for your aborted kids. I was like, damn. Cold-blooded, bro. Cold-blooded, man. Man, I see these videos. I almost have a tear in my eye because I remember being in college watching these videos, man. It's crazy how, first of all, it's crazy how time flies. Time flies by like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? So, man. Yeah, woman, he said, Driz, shit, what the hell did it just do? D Shizness 702 says, yep, women just follow the masses. Right here. Midnight Sun says, my question is why we men should pick up the responsibility for this broken system that caters to these 304s and single moms when she is not mine to begin with and not part of my community or tribe. You know, they're gonna still ask. Because that's the thing that women will do. I'm talking about women will rake you through the coals. I'm talking about through the coals, throw dirt on your name, take your kids from you, do false allegations, and then be right back up in your face talking about, can you give me $20? My life is kind of effed up right now. I don't have it on me right now. Can you give me? I'm talking about just shameless. Particularly BWs. BWs are very shameless. I'm talking about like a BW will act like you don't exist. Straight up just act like you won't exist. And then when she gets into financial trouble, all of a sudden she finds your number after like 4 unresponded messages on your end. And you're like, oh, I guess she's not interested in me. 2 or 3 months later, oh, I'm in a bad way right now. Okay. Do you have a Cash App? And you're just like, what? This is what they do. They'll do this. They have no shame. And I saw this tweet and it was hilarious. And the guy said, why do bitches have all the screenshots of everything but them begging for money? I'm talking about women will screenshot all their text messages, everything with you, anything. If you cursed at them wrong, they'll screenshot it. If you said one thing wrong, they'll screenshot it. They'll screenshot if you sent a pic, inappropriate pic. They'll screenshot everything but them begging for money. Now, what men need to start doing, we need to start screenshotting these women when they be begging for money, bro. Because this it'd be hilarious. It'd be hilarious to me. I'd be like, weren't you just talking crazy about me? Or they'll be like, they will just shamelessly beg for money. And it don't matter if she's straight or gay either. They could be dyke bitches and they'll still be trying to finesse a man out of his money. This happened to me. I'm talking about this dyke girl I knew try to beg me for money for diapers. I should have recorded that shit. I was like, no, thank you. I was like, no, thank you. Damn, I wish Ainsley was in the chat. I was about to tell him the person because he knows who it is. But yeah, I'm talking about this is a dyke bitch. This is a dyke bitch. Try to finesse me out of money for diapers. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Thank you. And I was like, is this women will do everything but talk about them when they talk about themselves when they were dry begging for money. They said even lesbians want a man. It's not that they want a man. They be broke. Bitches be broke, bro. They just be broke, man. I'm telling you, I don't care how much money she makes. Bitches be broke. They won't admit it. I don't like to. This is why they're always like, why do you think they're always talking about, I need a man that makes just as much or more money than me? Because she doesn't want to work. The bitch she don't want to work. That's why this is why they be like, man, I'm tired. They be mad at their husbands. Like I showed you that video, right? Of the woman, right? It was a black woman and a white dude. And the woman makes $300K a year. The white dude makes $70K, and she's basically forcing him to get his money up with this counselor. But I'm like, you make $300K a year. But the problem is the bitch, she wants to be in a position where that money that she's making, she doesn't want to be paying bills. She doesn't want to be taking care. She doesn't want to be paying for the car. She wants to spend that money on how she just wants to spend it, on frivolous shit. You know what I mean? while the man is actually using his money to put into the family. The woman, she wants to use her money that she makes just on herself. And it don't matter. Like, I'm talking about the bitch could be working at Walmart and she'll just be like, and you'll be like, well, since you are having a side job, can you use some of that money to put in the family? And she'll be like, no, that's my money. That's my money. I'm telling you, it's not that they want a man. They just don't want to work. These bitches do not want to work, bro. They broke. They broke and they don't want to work. These bitches don't want a man. They don't even like, they just don't want to work. They want to sit on their ass. They don't want to work. They don't want to work. Whatever it takes. They just don't want to work. And then the money that they make casually, they just want to be able to make that money and just put it on themselves. Because bitches is broke, dog. I'm telling you, they're broke. I'm telling you, they're broke. I'm telling you, man. They broke. They won't tell you this, but they're broke. I promise you, they're broke. They can be making $200,000 a year. They're broke. They don't save money, bro. They don't. I don't even care how misogynistic, whatever, how that sounds, how bad that sounds. They broke. These 304s are broke out here, man. They're broke. Like, I'm talking about ridiculously broke. Like, they can't live off of 75 to 80K a year by themselves. They in their minds, they can't live off that, you know. Oh, by the way, this is what I wanted to show you. Right? So we've seen this video. It says, my sister, she's getting married in 2 days, and she's on the phone with her ex from 13 years just to quote unquote, just to make sure. You know what I mean? And they're making a joke out of this, but this is, guys, this is common. I'm telling you guys, this is common, bro. They'll be getting married and literally the next day, and then she's still talking to her ex. Now, that when she's talking to her ex or the other dude that she's messing with, she's not telling him, hey, what are you gonna marry me? No, she's not doing that. She's just talking to him just to hope that he brings it up to see if he's gonna do something about it. So she'll bring it up with the ex. Oh yeah, I'm getting married. And she's not gonna be like, I want you to marry me instead. She's just gonna bring up the subject with the ex and just see how he feels and what he's doing, what he's gonna do about it. That's what women do, bro. That you know, I don't want to put anybody on blast though, because it'd be people I know. It'd be people I know that be on that nonsense. Now, this is gonna be the same 304. I'm hopefully whoever's marrying this broad sees this video. But like I said, most men are simps. Most men are simps. I've lost faith in, I said basically starting this morning. Somebody put me onto some information and I kind of lost faith in most men. Somebody put me onto some information about somebody I did a video on, and I basically lost faith in most men after seeing the information. So the other day I dropped a video, right? So I dropped a video on a woman who has HIV, right? Let me see if I can bring up the video real quick. I don't know if I can. So I dropped this video, right? About the woman getting HIV. And there was a woman in the comment section. She said, "You don't know what you're talking about. This girl is married now and she has a kid, a healthy baby boy." And I'm like, what? I was like, you gotta be lying. I said, what's the tag? And she sorry, let me hit newest comments. She ended up posting the tag of the woman. And sure enough, some simp took a bitch with HIV and knocked her up and married her. I was just shocked. I was just like, and by the way, you can already guess what skin color the man was. So right here, she gave me the information. She's like, nah, she right here. She said it doesn't matter. She said after her diagnosis, she found a man that accepted her despite her status. She has a YouTube channel that is doing well, and she explains how a public figure infected her with HIV. And the public figure his name is Kingface, the black conservative dude that ended up dying, and they didn't tell us what he died of, but apparently he had HIV and he was infecting multiple women with it. Anyways, they said she still got her happily ever after. So the egg is on the face of those laughing at this video in particular. But lo and behold, I'll take your word for it. I did the research. She's right. She ended up being married. Let me see. The bitch should still appear. So she scrubbed her Instagram, right? And now she, like I said, she's married. She has a baby. And you're just like, how? I'm like, how? Yep, and this is the ninja that knocked her up. I don't know how. You're a healthy man, I'm assuming. This is supposed to be a healthy man. Unless if I'm missing something, maybe he has HIV. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. You're a healthy man and you take on a woman that has HIV. And I looked at her YouTube. So yeah, this is a black man. Like I said, I keep telling you, black dudes. I'm sorry, black men are the biggest simps because their bar for women is in hell. And I hope to God, like, I'm gonna tell you this, because that's a picture of her dad. Now that's a picture of her dad. That's not the husband. This is the husband right here, right? So I hope that this isn't the same black man, because it'd be black men like this that will talk crazy about what black women need to do, and then they will basically take the Hispanic version of the of the black woman that they're trying to avoid, and they'll give them a pass. So Bianca Ordonez, this is a Hispanic woman. She's a thought. And let me see if I can bring up her YouTube channel. Got 13,000 subscribers, right? Did I show? So yeah, this is the husband. Hopefully I showed him, but this is her YouTube channel right here. And Bianca claims she got HIV via Kingface, the conservative pundit that used to be on Candace Owens' show. The black conservative dude that used to be on Candace Owens' show. And but if you look at her channel, right? If you look at her channel, she still talks about how she still got dates even post HIV. She was still getting dates. She was still getting into fights at bars. You see here, she got a black eye. I watched the whole video. I'm like, this is a straggle.
Hi everyone.
This is an a Hispanic. This is a Latina straggle. This is a Latina straggle, and she still found her happily, or quote unquote happily ever after, right? So I've kind of lost faith in men today. I was just like, I'm literally like, yo. Oh man. Shout out to Reaper. Kyle Filipowski's story. I'll look that up later. Let me see. Midnight Sun said, I lost. So, oh yeah, so apparently the baby doesn't have HIV. Because there's still a way, like, even if you have HIV, if you have a kid, if you end up having a kid, you like, if one of the person isn't affected with HIV, the kid could still come out healthy without HIV. You know, there's all medicines and all this stuff. But I'm like, you're taking on a bitch with you. I'm like, you couldn't find no other woman, huh? Oh yeah, and like she's a quote unquote, she's a Christian now. She's a life coach. She's probably even a pastor. I probably don't even know. She's in Christian ministry now. She got her section at church or whatever. I'm like, bruh. And I'm telling you, man, black dudes are the biggest simps, dog. They're the biggest simps because the bar is in hell. The bar is in hell. D Shizness said there's no bottom now. There's no. Oh man. I'm sitting there like, I don't care how much medicine, and yes, I know they got medicines now where I know they have medicines now where if she takes enough of it and you don't have HIV, you can still mess with her unprotected and not get it. But that's way too much risk. That's way too much risk, man. So Midnight Sun said, being Hispanic myself, most Latinas are 304s. But this is the problem. This is because this is not even this is not even me banging on the Latinas. This is me banging on the black dudes here. Pause. There are black dudes that will talk crazy about black women acting a certain way, but then it'll be Latina women that act the exact same way, and black men will give them a pass because they want to hear the Hispanic shit in the bedroom. And I'm like, this girl is she's gonna kill you. Oh no, you don't understand, man. She just, I'm like, this bitch act crazier than your ex. And I'm like, I'm like, okay. Like black men will black dudes will be simping OD over Latina women and letting them literally abuse them. And then those same dudes will talk crazy about black women. That will always, I'm like, you're basically dating the Hispanic version of the black woman that you're trying to avoid. So it's not even about black women acting a certain way. You're full of self-hate. Because black dudes like that get on my nerves. Shouldn't you, if you're gonna date outside of your race, shouldn't you date like somebody that's like, that does not even resemble, like, if you're gonna see me with, like, me personally, if you're gonna see me with a white girl, it's not gonna be that what she's gonna be straight from the suburbs, cookie cutter, you know, with two parent household, you know, fake nice, all of that. It's gonna be the whitest girl, dog. But these dudes, they will date, they will talk, these black dudes will talk crazy about what black men need to do, then they'll go to Colombia and end up dating a single mother. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? You're basically they'll go to Colombia and then they'll get a quote unquote thick girl that's quote unquote traditional, but and the girl will be, the woman will be a single mom. And I'm like, you can get that here. You didn't have to go to Colombia to get a single mom. You can live, and they'll think they're doing something. they'll think they're doing something. Oh yeah, Hispanic man too. So yeah, I've been seeing a trend. They're like, I've seen a lot of Hispanic men now. They're like, man, we got to start dating white women now, and they be a lot. Some of them, not a lot, but some of them. I've been seeing some of them sipping a little bit too hard, and they don't understand that white women are they're very cunning and they're very dangerous. They're very dangerous, very passive aggressive. Exactly. So like I said, when we talk about straggles, right? Straggles, there's no race to straggle. It's very race neutral. Now, it just so happens that a particular demographic will revel in that stereotype, but hate that we stereotype them with that. You know what I mean? And to a lesser extent, Latina women. But the problem is with Latina women, they'll act the same way, but they get away with it because Latina women are can be very sought for, very heavily sought after. Because Latina women are probably one of the few women on the planet right now where you can actually find a woman from, say, South America that actually takes pride in being the man's helpmate. Even if she's crazy as hell, you can at least find, there'll probably be one Spanish chick that you can find that will actually be proud of being somebody's wife. You know what I mean? So that's why they'll get away with a lot. Oh man. Light Warrior said a man should sample everything God has offered him. No Diddy. Being ghetto is not a flex. He said never give your girl a gun. I don't know. I might disagree with that. Not a gun. Like you need to have a girl that is licensed or a girl that is trained in handling firearms. So you need to have a woman, like if you end up having a main woman, she needs to know how to handle a gun, because there might be a time where you need to handle your business and she's going to have to take care of it. You won't be able to take care of it, you know. But like I said, that's a responsibility that only few women can actually handle. That's only a few women can handle it, you know. Midnight Sun says, dude, I had a coworker who's Colombian, who had a coworker who's Colombian, who's married to a Colombiana who has 5 kids. 4 are not even his. Yeah. There's like I'll say this, Hispanic chicks get away with a lot. They get away with a lot. because like if you were to do a poll and if you ask most races of men, look, it would be a lot of men trying to aim for Asian chicks and Hispanic chicks. You know, it'll be a lot of dudes, you know. There's I'll say that I remember when I was a kid. Let me see. Yeah, like there's some Hispanic chicks that can leave you stuck. They can leave you stuck. I'm not gonna lie. Right? Carlos X said they'll shoot their eyes out. That is true. That is true. But yeah, Latinas, yeah, a lot of too much drama. Too much nonsense. Can be very violent, like very violent. You know, they They'd be the first ones to say, I'm a lover, not a fighter, and then they'll be fighting at the club the next day. The first ones to say that shit too. They be acting like they peaceful, but they are not. Like Latinas are not, they're just not, they're not peaceful. And like I said, like black women will get the bad rap, but Latinas, they can act the same way, but they'll get away with it, you know. But like I said, if you like, you can't, if you want peace in your life, you don't date black, you don't date Latina to a lesser extent, because I do think the Latinas from South America, if you get a hold of the right one from South America, they could really help you out. They can really help you out, like really help you out. I've met some Venezuelan chicks, right? But the reason why they are very cooperative, particularly the Venezuelan chicks, is because they're like on desperation mode. Like particularly Venezuelan chicks, they're on desperation mode. So they're really trying to, whoever's working it out with her right now and keeping her afloat, they're straight, you know. So D Shisness said Italians are dramatic too. Yes, but I'll say this: if you can get an Italian chick that really has your back, that's almost, I'm not gonna say that's like hitting the lottery, but you know, if you can get an Italian chick that got your back, I'm talking about really loyal to you, really got your back, you might have a gem on your hands. That is like Italian women are sleepers, because if you can get I'm telling you, if you can get an Italian chick that is really loyal to you, which is rare, obviously, but if you can get one that really fucks with you for real, even if you broke up with her, she there's certain stuff that she still won't do to disrespect your name. I've seen this. I've seen this in real life. I've seen this in real life. Italian chicks, if you can get a real loyal Italian chick that really got you, and I'm not talking about looks. You've noticed I haven't talked about looks. I'm talking about personality. If you can get an Italian chick that really fuck with you, you might have a gem on your hand. You might have a gem on your hand. Like I don't want to be like, oh, this race is more loyal than that race. That race is more loyal. But I'll say, if you can get an Italian chick, you know what I mean, that really fuck with you, you might have something. You might have something, you know. Oh yeah, and by the way, let me see. You see, European Italians are. Oh, I'll say this: the American Italians. And I know what you're saying, but even still, then there are, like, I'm just saying, I've seen the last marriages that I've seen. The only marriages that I've seen where when we're talking about till death do us part and actually mean it, it'll be those old Portuguese or these old Italian couples where when they say till death do us part, they mean it. Like they mean it, meaning they'll kill each other first before they divorce. You know what I mean? Like the old school Italian couples, and they go through it. Or the old school Portuguese couples, they be getting into it with each other though, in terms of domestically. You know what I mean? Dishes said that was 100 years ago. But I'll say this because maybe it might be different from my perspective, but I've seen certain Italian women do some real shit. Now those might be the Gen X. Those might be Gen X. I feel you, you know, but you know, I'll give them from what I saw, I gotta respect it. From what I saw, I gotta respect it. And like I've been around a lot of races of people, different types of couples, different types of old people, you know. I'm just saying, like, I've seen Italian women do some real nigga shit though. I've seen Italian women do some real nigga shit. I've seen it, and yeah, you might be right. Yeah, maybe that was 100 years ago. I feel you, but I've seen Italian women do some real things out here. I've seen Italian women do some real things out here where I got to give them their respect. I gotta give them their propers. I'm talking about the first teacher I ever respected. I was in 3rd grade, Italian woman, old school as hell. She was like 60 or 70 something years old. That's probably the only teacher that I still respect to this day. That I actually like, my respect level is that I'm talking about. I respect her almost like I respect her as much, if not more, than some of the male teachers I had. You know what I mean? So that might be my bias there. And then I've seen, certain women, soccer moms, even some of the liberal women. I've seen some Italian women do some real things out here, some real things. I'm sounding like Corey Holcomb right now, but like that's the only thing I can explain it. That's the only way I can explain it. Carlos X said, I miss my shot with a sweet, loving Italian chick in my 20s just because she had tiny tits. Now she's a single mom. I'll have to cry into my pizza later. Oh, man. Oh, man. Anyway, let me see if there's any other news. I know, because I had a lot saved. I had a lot of things saved, Oh, so Bronny did get drafted by the Lakers. Shout out to my guy, man. Oh, he gave
NBA draft. The Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James from the University of Southern California. With the 55th.
Man, congratulations to Bronny James, man. I'll say this. I'm a big fan of LeBron James and his family and his family structure. You know what I mean? I'm a huge fan of his family, not his politics, not his politics, but his family and his family structure. I'm very pleased to see Bronny James succeeding in life. You know what I mean? Hopefully when Zuri, right, the young, LeBron James' youngest daughter, hopefully Savannah James doesn't pull the plug. Because I have a feeling that she might soon. I don't want her to do it, but I have a feeling she might do that stupid shit. Hopefully she doesn't do that stupid shit, because she doesn't seem like a dumb 304. You know what I mean? So I want Zuri James to be able to grow up at least until she hits 18 or 17 or 16, to at least make it to a certain age before Savannah James pulls the plug. But I'm very thankful that I'm very thankful that I'm very thankful that he got to Bronny James got to be where he is. Let me see. Yeah, I'm very I'm people don't understand, because some of the conservatives that people lift up in the air, like a Andrew Wilson, no disrespect, but home, if you Andrew Wilson and you wifed up a single mom, and it's just he's good at debating 304s on the whatever podcast, but I mean, for me, example, I like Ben Shapiro, but at the end of the day, he was debating Marxists at colleges. These 304s on colleges, they don't know what they've been indoctrinated. So it's kind of hard for me to give him that kind of credit. And then once Ben Shapiro got put in front of an actual person, And all he did was pose a few things, a few questions that might have opposed to what Ben Shapiro is used to. He called Andrew McNeil a liberal and that he was attacking him and he was just asking him questions. But it just showed, like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of those conservatives that we lift up in the air, their whole family structure is messed up. Their personal life is, you know, a LeBron James, even though he's lost, I look at his family compared to most, and I'm like, that's what I want. I look at that, I'm like, that's what I want. And let's keep it real. Obviously, LeBron James was fucking bitches. We know that. We know that. But you know, whatever he has working for him, and you know, hopefully LeBron James is not like you know, say if it was like revealed that LeBron James was an undercover down low dude, because you know they said he was at Diddy's parties, right? But say if say if it was revealed that LeBron James was down low, then that takes everything. Then I'll take back everything I said. But I see how LeBron James moves with his family, how he's kind of like separated himself from Dwayne Wade ever since Dwayne Wade turned his son into a girl. I see what LeBron do. I'm like, he's really a conservative at heart. He's just lost. He's just blue pill as hell. LeBron is just blue pill as hell. He's actually a conservative at heart. I look at how he moves. I look at how his family looks up to him, how his family respects him, how his wife don't be talking crazy about him. You know what I mean? I look at how he's at the press conference. His daughter did like one thing. He's like, hey, daddy's doing something right now. And then she stops playing. I see how his sons are like afraid of him, but in a good way. I look at stuff like that. I'm like, I like that. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that, man. Let me see. Tiny Meatballs. D Shizness said, I like sports families in general. Yeah, like there's some families that I fuck with. What's another sports fan? Well, you know, I don't want to bring up soccer examples, but you know, the Kelsey family, right? Oh, you know, but yeah. How about this? You know who I'm a huge fan of? I'm a huge fan of LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball is this is a person I believe that most black men should aspire to be, in my opinion. LeVar Ball, like, I don't like, now, mind you, I don't like none of his sons. I don't like Lonzo. I don't like LiAngelo. I don't like LaMelo. I think all three of those dudes are clowns. But LeVar Ball, how he set up his sons to win in life, this is a man that thinks 30 to 20 years ahead. You know what I mean? And the way first of all, the way that LeVar Ball talks, I love the way he talks. He speaks like a real man, like how Orange Man talks. He's like, that's why I like Orange Man, because Orange Man just speaks like how a man talks. He doesn't filter his words. I like that. He doesn't filter his words. And I believe his sons, like LeVar Ball's sons, I think, even though that like they're still in the NBA, well, and then LiAngelo, he fucked up his own career, right? I believe if his sons actually listened to him more, they'd actually be further along than where they are. Because ever since his sons have gone pro, both of his sons, like Lonzo and and LaMelo, have made a lot of mistakes to kind of prove, look, I'm not under my father's thumb, but I'm like, I think you should listen to your father. I think you should listen to your father. Like, I remember LeVar Ball, he was talking about how when he met his wife, he said, I married my wife because she's tall. I was like, yo, shout out to you. This is a person that thinks 20 to 30 years ahead. Instead of these other dumb fucks, they be just married, they just be knocking up anything. they just impregnate some 5'2" girl that got a big ass and big tits, and all you do is just end up with a voluptuous son or a voluptuous daughter. That's what you end up with, instead of somebody that's tall and lean like your wife. Like LeVar Ball is somebody that's very calculating. This is a person that thinks 10 to 20 years ahead. This is a man that knows what he's doing. Let me see. He said Ben Shapiro is lame. Oh yeah, Midnight Sun. So Midnight Sun said, personally, I don't care about celebrities or people who are known or recognized. Same here. Same here. But it's funny, like I can take the positive out of these athletes, like Michael Jordan, right? I like how he talks shit on the court. I like how he be standing over niggas and be like he really, like, you could tell that Michael Jordan really cared. I respect that. And the gambling stories that he's had, like the stories that he's had about his past that I've heard from Chicago entertainers and comics. Those are some funny ass stories. But anyway. Anyway, man, let's go to here. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling allows for emergency abortions in Idaho. Wow. So it says today the Supreme Court ruled in consent to allow abortions in Idaho for women who are facing medical emergencies. This includes pregnant women who are struggling to carry full term or are experiencing other medical complications that may lead to them to require an emergency abortion. If you recall, this matter has been contentious as there hasn't been any actual decision on the case. Well, it's contentious because most baby deletions is elective. It's not a matter of medical emergencies. That's not most. Most baby deletions are elective, meaning I just don't want this thing in my life right now. This thing will not benefit me. So I'm going to kill it. Sorry, delete it. So he says this case was ruled 6-3 as 3 of the 6 members of the conservative justices were not in agreement. Initially, an appeal brought by Idaho officials was dismissed, implying that a lower court ruling is effectively allowing doctors in the state to perform emergency deletions. The Sleepy Joe administration had taken legal action against Idaho, arguing the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act takes precedence over state law preventing hospitals from refusing uninsured patients. So, okay. The court's decision was considered a one-line order, which lifted a block or stay that the justices has placed on the lower court's ruling in January to deny baby deletion access. Thus, the Supreme Court did not resolve the underlying legal dispute, opting instead to dismiss the case as imprudently granted. Imprudently granted. The underlying legal dispute surrounding the federal right to abortion access remains unresolved and will continue to be an issue leading up to the election. Anyway, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said this court had a chance to bring clarity and certainty to this tragic situation, and we have squandered it. And for as long as we refuse to declare what the law requires, pregnant patients in Idaho, Texas, and elsewhere will be paying the price. Well, I believe what Idaho is doing is they're being responsible. They're saying, okay, maybe we won't allow most babies to be killed. But if something's wrong with you as a woman, if you might die, we might give you the option. Now, there's probably a lot more contingencies behind that, but she's talking about clarity. But what she really what the left wanted was them just to allow emergency abortions and them not to be able this is what they wanted the law to be. This is what they wanted the law to be, because I'm seeing what Ketanji Brown is complaining about this, and I'm like, oh, I get it. I see what she is. So what the left, they want the emergency abortions. They just want it, but they want it to be like, they don't want you to question. They just want no question. They just want you to be able to say, I need an emergency abortion, and just have no questions. You can't be like, okay, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with the baby? Is the baby gonna live? Is this what's going on with this? They don't want no investigation. They just want to just have, okay, emergency abortions, and then have the option to not tell the people why you need an emergency abortion. Yo, these people, man. Oh, man. Yeah, Michael Jordan's that ninja, man. Michael Jordan, funny as hell. Michael Jordan's funny as hell. If people don't realize it, but Michael Jordan's funny as hell. But that's basically what the left wants in this case. They want people to just be able to have emergency abortions just without reason. And that would just lead to people taking advantage of the situation. They just don't want like the questions that come with it. Okay, like, okay, what's wrong with you? Is the pregnancy going to carry the term? What's going on? They just don't want the questions. They do not want to be questioned about it. Oh man, people are so evil. But like I said, the way I've been seeing women marching for self-deleting their own kids, it is clear to me. Like, it is clear to me that we need to, it's clear that we need to change the Happy Mother's Day needs to be changed to Happy She Kept It Day. There's no, you can't even be mad at me or a Corey Holcomb when he said it, right? He said it first, obviously, but you can't even be mad. On the day of Happy Mother's, I didn't even say Happy Mother's Day, right? I literally put on my YouTube, I said Happy She Kept It Day. Because now I got to ask, all these women will go out their way to talk about how much they don't want kids, how much they don't want to do this and blah, they don't want to incubate, they don't want all that. So I'm like, okay, so now I have to ask, now that because we already know once they hit 28, 29, and 30 years old, we already know they're going to sing a different tune, and they're going to have those babies for selfish reasons. So I really got to start asking, you have to really start asking women, okay, why did you keep this one? You thought the guy at the club was bigger than you. you thought he was famous, didn't you? You saw the car. You thought he had money, didn't you? You thought the guy that you saw at the concert had money. You thought the musician that you was messing with had money, didn't you? Yeah. And it turned out not being that way, and it was too late for you to get rid of that one, so you had to keep this one. That's the cold-blooded truth around a lot of why, why a lot of kids are being kept. Yeah, like these kids nowadays, they're not even being raised, they're just being kept. They're being kept. Those are the straight facts. And I don't want to hear nobody I don't want to hear anybody acting like they don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to hear that. These people will keep certain kids, get rid of certain kids ad nauseum, and just expect somebody like me not to have a question, you know. So let me go back to ninjadom, right? Because I'm not gonna watch the debate tonight because I don't touch politics. I really don't touch politics because there's too much emotions behind it, too much, like, anytime you have a critique of somebody or a question, people take offense, and people don't realize the politicians, they don't work for the average American. They work for the elites. They work for the people that pay them. That's who they work for. So you'll have the average Joe will cry if you say something about Sleepy Joe, if you say something about Orange Man. I'm talking about if you say anything wrong to either fan base about these things, the fan bases will start crying. And I'm like, you do know these people do not care about you. Like, they don't, like, and it's no disrespect, like, to Orange Man, but I hope, particularly, black people, I hope they don't put unnecessary expectations on Orange Man to quote unquote save the country, because we already ran this country to the ground. I don't think there's really any recovering from what we did, especially for these past 4 years. There's no recovering from that. There's no recovery from what we did from 2020 through 2024. I don't think there's any recovering from that. So whoever you're voting for, quote unquote, is going to be unreasonable expectations placed on either. Especially since I believe most people, they want Orange Man back in, but I just hope they don't put unnecessary expectations on Orange Man. You know what I mean? Because it like the stuff that we've allowed these past 4 years it's been nothing short of a disaster. Nothing short of a disaster. So I don't even. First of all, I don't even think Sleepy Joe. I don't even think he's going. I don't even think he's going to show up. I don't even think he's going to show up. Oh man. So D. Shisnan said, women used to sacrifice their lives for their kids. Now they're selfish. Well, I remember a woman had to say, because I said something similar last month, and she was trying to tell me, well, women have kind of always been like that. It's just now more in the forefront. And it was kind of hard for me to accept because I thought I was making a relevant point on how women are modern day child traffickers. And the woman was just trying to tell me, like, well, it's kind of always been like that. It's just now in 2024, we're realizing that women are very transactional when it comes to these things. Very strictly transactional, So it took me a while to come to grips on that, But I don't know, if you guys are gonna watch the debate. I'm just gonna watch the reaction via Twitter. Like, to me, it's a circus. To me, it's almost like, remember when Floyd Mayweather faced Conor McGregor? I was like, I'm not paying for that fight because I already know what's gonna happen. Like, this is a circus. I was like, Floyd, you know better. But I already know Floyd thinks about he's money. He thinks about his money first more than that. Like, he's like very strategic about his paper. You know what I mean? And how he markets his things. And he was probably looking at Conor McGregor at that time as marketing potential, in terms of most of the times for Mayweather's fights, Mayweather had to do most of the promotion, most of the buffoonery to promote the fights, but with Conor McGregor there, he didn't have to do none of that. He didn't have to do any of that. And I'll just leave this off at this before I sign off. I'm going to say this. I feel so bad for Black conservatives. I feel so bad for open Black conservatives because I always say this. You can either Doug and B, like I said, like they're gonna do everything they can to protect Sleepy Joe, bro. Sleepy Joe gone. He's this dude is gone, bro. He's gone. They're gonna do everything they can. You should see like the talk shows on TV, the way they act like Trump. Orange Man is an idiot, and Sleepy Joe is whipping his butt, and it's clear that he's not. Like it's clear that Sleepy Joe can't even put like two sentences together. Like it's so clear who intellectually who's here and who's not here. I'm talking about Sleepy Joe is so gone mentally that there are conspiracies out there. There are literally theories out there that they're saying that Sleepy Joe is acting this way on purpose to cover up for the evil that he's still doing behind the scenes. That's how bad how he looks to the outside. Like he just looks lost. You know what I mean? There are people that they think that he's doing that on purpose. That's how lost he looks. Anyways, let's take a listen to what this Black conservative has to say. And I say this, if you are a Black man, you can either have a Black woman or be a Black conservative. You can't have both. You can either have a Black woman or be a conservative if you are a Black man. Now, if you are a white man and you're conservative, you can still get a Black woman, which is weird how that works. It's weird how that works. But I'm saying if you are a Black man, you can either have a Black woman or be conservative. You can't be both. You can't be both. Let's listen to what he has to say here.
It's time to question the strategy. It's time to question whether gaining political influence should continue to play such a central role in efforts to help Blacks advance. Those minority groups who focus first on internal development, skills, attitudes, and behaviors have tended to rise faster than groups who have prioritized seeking political power and government favors. This pattern describes Germans and Jews and Asians and other immigrants, but it also describes Blacks of a previous era. Between 1940 and 1970, so this is during Jim Crow segregation and prior to the era of affirmative action, the number of Blacks in middle-class professions, your accountants, your engineers, your teachers, and social workers, quadrupled. Between 1960 and 1970 alone, Black incomes in the U.S. doubled. They rose for whites during that decade as well, but not as fast as they rose for Blacks. During this period, racial gaps not just narrowing, but narrowing in some cases quite rapidly. During a time of rampant racism, when Blacks had very little political clout, Blacks were making progress because the focus was on developing human capital, which is far more important than electing Black politicians. It's time to question the strategy. It's time to question what.
And by the way, I don't know if he's a conservative or not, but he was even talking about conservatives either. He was just saying Black people need to do less focus on politics, more focus on economics, more focus on capital, more focus on these things outside of the government, outside of these political camps. Particularly, I like how the Asians run their thing, where they don't even really participate in the politics like that. Now recently, in recent years, yes, they have. But I'm talking about the Asians of the past and the Asians that are still here. They don't really bank on politics. They just do what they do. They handle their business. They handle the money things, and then everything follows from there. Now, during the time where Blacks had the most growth, most of us were conservatives. Most of us were Republicans. I don't understand. Well, I'm pretty sure this. the loyalty that ninjas have to the Democrats, the Democrats, right? And I just would this message right here. So for any black people, or particularly black people, if you are going to watch the debate, just remember that debate stuff, that caping for certain political powers, caping for certain people in power, that's not the move. That's not the move. We got to think economically. We got to think 20 to 30 years ahead. We got to think community first. We don't even have our community is in shambles. And we're talking about who's going to be the president. Who's better? Who's racist? Who's not racist? I mean, bruh. we have bigger fish to fry. Yeah, but Doug MBA is right. There's going to be a 1.5 minute delay so they can edit out anything they don't want us to see. So yeah, like we already know CNN is going to be on their nonsense. Yeah, man. He said he's talking like Malcolm X. Well, they don't make him like Malcolm X anymore. A Malcolm, was it like a Malcolm X? Marcus Garvey, right? Who else can I think of? But a lot of these guys, like, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. What's his name? Khalid Muhammad. I think that's his name, Khalid Muhammad. Brother Khalid Muhammad, and I'll give a modern example. This guy, I saw him speak. What's his name? Brother Minister Tony Muhammad, right? Another NOI member, but and what I like about their message, their focus is on we must do for self. Nobody's going to save us. We must do for self. I like that message. I tend to gravitate towards that message. You know what I mean? So I can respect that, but like I said, it's unfortunate because like for black dudes, because black dudes really love black women, bro. They really do. They really like, you see how I underestimate how much white men love white women, but I also underestimate how much black men love black women, because I'm at that point in my life. If I feel disrespected, I don't even argue with people. I just leave. That's what I do. It don't matter the race. If I feel like I'm being disrespected, if I'm being taken for granted, if I feel like people are talking slick to me behind my back or right in front of me, not even behind my, I'm talking about if I feel like people are specifically publicly disrespecting me, I'm out. It's just to save my sanity, to save my peace, so I can focus on the people that appreciate what I do. You know what I mean? Or the people that have, if they have critiques of me, but they're not disrespecting me. You know what I mean? Those are the people I want to focus on. Or that's so I don't have time to be loyal to black women or to make sure black women are acting right. Look, whoever's with me at that time, if you're not acting right, I'm gone. But like you see how like black men are going out their way to, come on, black woman, we love you. We trying to, dude, you're wasting your. I be telling ninjas, you wasting your time, bro. You wasting your time. BWs are cooked in America, especially in America, and don't think Africans are exempt or Caribbean women are exempt, or Southern American black women are exempt. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Because I've already come to that conclusion. Like, women are not really loyal to a race. Not really. Hypergamy doesn't really care about race. So that's kind of what I took from that. But yeah, I don't see. I think that's probably about it for what I can cover today. This was a very broad topic, a very broad show. Oh, how about this here? How about this here? How about this video right here? You'll probably see a video of me reacting to this soon.
Men are like, we want a traditional woman. We want a woman at home, taking care of me, taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, doing all this. And women are like, have done the feminism. They've done the 9 to 5. They're all broke. They're unhappy. They're like, why are we working so hard? This sucks. And then they're like, okay, we accept your terms. And then men are like, okay. And then we're like, okay, so that's going to take a lot of money to have this life. So are you going to be a provider full time? Are you going to give me and the children the lives that we want? And then as soon as women turn it on men and accept, men are like, oh my gosh, you're just all gold diggers. And then it's like, so what do you want from us? There's no winning. Yeah, we do want to be at home with the kids. And yeah, if we do that, you have to provide, sweetheart. Men are like, we want to.
These are the trad wives y'all still trying to save. The alleged, I call these the alleged trad wives. These are the trad wives y'all still trying to save. And they always keep talking about, oh, we realize this. Okay, I want a trad dude, but they never say what they're gonna do for the guy. It's always what we got to do for them. So of course they're gonna call you a gold digger, because as soon as you quote unquote want the trad lifestyle, you're already automatically talking about what he's gonna do for you instead of what you're gonna do for him. So of course they're gonna call you a gold digger, because you're not even offering. You're offering nothing. You're offering nothing. But like, yeah, we'll do a video reacting to that soon. Very, 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 very soon. Hawk Tua. I don't even know why that Hawk Tua girl. Yeah, so before I sign off, I don't even know why this girl is going viral. I have no idea why this broad is gone viral. Are men that thirsty? Man, I'll say this. Because I used to be signed up on the black dating app. I used to be on that black dating app, and I used to be on the servers, whatever, to do those live chats with everybody. Yeah, people are just horny. People are just ridiculously horny. And they just oh my God. I don't understand why she's going super, super viral. I don't get it. Let me see.
How do you get over a breakup?
The only way to get over one is get under another. Cobwebs off this thing.
Don't miss. What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
You gotta give him that hawk to it. Spit on that thing.
How many is on your roster?
There's only one I want. I love you, Pookie, forever.
How do you get over a breakup?
The only way to get over one.
Did she say I love you, Pookie, forever? Oh Lord. Here we go.
One is get under another. Cobwebs off this thing.
Don't miss.
Yeah, people are just horny. People are just horny, and they just want to.
Back, front, side to side, it don't matter.
That make me wifey material. Military grade handcuffs. Those are. This is for her. What?
Makes you wifey material?
This flat ass girl. Flat ass. Come on.
So this is the girl that everybody's simping over. He says that's what I be saying. It's the relationships. Like it'd be funny. Like women bees will say like they'll de-shizzing it. People don't understand. Like they act like sex is a bonus, where sex is supposed to be the prerequisite. It should be a non-negotiable in a relationship. especially a marriage. You know what I mean? Especially a marriage. That's not even supposed. But like I said, women don't go in long-term relationships or particularly marriages. They don't go into these things to have sex. They go into these commitments for security reasons. Men commit long-term for sex for the most part, you know, so they consider their sexual skills as a bonus, where it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a prerequisite. And that's another reason why people it's a lot of dudes that prefer Latinas, because, or even some that will, a lot of black dudes they still want to stick with black women, because those two races, they don't really, but particularly Latinas, they will have sex with you. That's not something that you have to worry about in terms of sex. They will have sex with you. You know what I mean? That's not something that they're gonna hold over you, where you're like walking on eggshells. You're like, damn, I forgot to take out the trash. I forgot to do the chores. My wife is not gonna give any to me. That's not something you really have to worry about when you're dealing with, you know, Latinas. That's another reason why they get a lot of passes on what they do, on the toxic stuff they do, because on that end, they don't do that to you. So I remember, like, when I was with a Spanish chick, you know, I was shocked. You know, one time we got into an argument, blah blah blah, whatever. And I'm thinking, well, I'm fucked for the night. And she was still like, at the end of the night, she was still like, aren't you gonna? And I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was, so they don't hold that shit over you in terms of where they're using it as leverage against you. So, and like I said, you know, yeah, men are simps. Men are simps. But anyway, I'm going to sign off on that end. I am gonna sign off. Let me see. Maybe should I finish the video? I don't know.
You gotta get a spicy one.
You want a spicy one?
Yeah.
What's one move in bed that make a man go crazy every time?
One what?
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time? That you do?
That I do.
Yeah. That makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, there was another woman in there, so I guess she had her answer as well. Fair use.
Does not reply. In bed, Haley. This is for her. What? You gotta answer this. You got it.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Huck too and spit on it. Spit on it. If I see any more.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got another one for y'all.
Okay.
Would you rather? Hold on, is she listening?
Would you rather?
Would you rather have back shots for the rest of your life or missionary for the rest of your life? You can only choose one.
Back shots.
Back shots? Why back?
Well, she seems like a trooper.
Because I don't like somebody looking at me in my face, you know?
You don't like that eye contact?
I don't like
It's a little
that.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It's
I'm not a pillow
intimate.
princess.
A little bit
You
too
get me?
intimate. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
What
I'm not
about
a
you?
pillow princess.
Wait, you gotta repeat. I'm sorry. I'm really focused.
Back shots or missionary for the rest of your life? You can only choose one.
Yeah, yeah, men, like I said, men are simps. I'll say this, we're very simple creatures, you know. I don't know why this went as viral as it did. I'm not even trying to be a hater. I don't know why this went as viral as it did. But yeah, I'll say this. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am over the 2.5 hour mark. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thanks, Deshiznit 702. You was active. But man, thank you, bro, for tuning in. Pyro, you already know. That's my guy. Doug MPA, thank you, man, for tuning in. All Warband members, thank you. Let me audit you. Shout out to you, bro. Man, shout out to you. But yeah, all Warband members, Carlos X, Midnight Sun, you know what I mean? All of you guys, man. Well, Walt Chamberlain. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but yeah, thank you guys, man. All Warband members, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Shinobi One, Light Warrior, yeah, all the Warband members, thank you for tuning in, man. Any other usuals, if I missed you guys, my bad. But man, thank you guys for tuning in. I will sign off. I'm not sure when I'm gonna come back on. I'm fucked tomorrow because there's a lot of stuff I got to do tomorrow. So I don't even know. I should still have some videos scheduled in, but I'm shot for this week for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm shot. Working a lot, a lot of gigs, a lot of stuff doing. So man, shout out to you guys, man, and I'm gonna sign off on here.